So a pretty good question is, what do you love? And what do you do to support that love? Because these weren't questions that I asked myself when I was in my 20s. I somehow didn't think they were important. But they're so important. What do you love? And what do you do to support that love? And is there in any way that you're getting in the way of that love? In other words, not supporting it. There's this assumption in Australia that everybody is capable of love and that everybody loves something. My experience tells me that that's not necessarily so. That a lot of people are too defended, too closed, too selfish, too self-obsessed to experience a great deal of love, which is a shame because it's the only thing here that's valuable. But we're not really programmed to understand that at school. We get led to believe at school that we need to get results so we can get a good job or a university position. This whole idea of loving doesn't really get touched on, and then there's an assumption that everybody loves. And I know in my own life, up until 30 odd, I didn't experience much love. I thought I had, but I was actually more of a war machine than anything else as a businessman, and too closed, too defended, too ruthless. And of course the assumption was that I did love, but it was an assumption, not a reality. And the reality was born of the bonding that I felt towards my female partners. I mistook the bonding, which is primal, for love, that wanting to be with. That wanting to be loved, needed. But when I started to taste the real deal, it changed my whole understanding of what was valuable on this plane. Because up until I did feel unconditional love, I thought basically winning was the best thing you could do here. And so I won. And I found there was nothing at the top. When you win, there's nothing there. It's empty. And that was a bit discouraging. After all, I'd been programmed my whole life to believe that that was the way to go. But then when I tasted unconditional love, I decided to do something about my lack of love. And so I set in search of my own heart. And after a while, it was really clear that what facilitates heart is openness, not defendedness, not closed ear, not righteousness, not arrogance, but openness. And I was good at all the other things. And I was good at pretending to be open. Because as a businessman, even in my late teens, I think I trained in body language skills. But true openness is a vulnerability. There's no defense systems in it. everything can touch you, actually. And in this state of openness and vulnerability, love is perceived very easily. Matter of fact, just about everything you look at, you feel the love in and around and for. So in choosing a new career for myself, I chose to train as a naturopath and psychotherapist so I could have some skills to help people, because my mind just wanted to help others. And in that endeavour, I got to meet a great deal of unhappy people. People whose relationships weren't working, people who were resisting life, struggling. And it was really clear to me that they were all doing it to themselves, that it wasn't anyone or anything doing anything to them. But trying to convince people of that was quite difficult. Trying to convince people to open up, to be in the marketplace undefended, seemed like almost an impossible task. People wanted to love, but they didn't want to be open to have to feel it. They just wanted to collect it. And so it's probably now nearly 30 years that I've been trying to teach people about love and how openness will facilitate it, and how victim-orientated thinking runs the opposite direction, actually closes you off from the perception of it, which puts you basically in survival mode. But you have to really want it to do anything about it, because openness takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to take away the defence systems that have been there for a lifetime. The world is a sad place as a result of the lack of love. But you can facilitate the perception of it and become a different person, because those who find unconditional love in their life make other people's lives better. They can't help it. It's what they want to do. If they find enough love, there's no more selfishness. There's no more self-obsession. It's all over. Because those things are seen clearly as in the way. And also the cause of suffering. So what do you do to support love? Or do you handicap it in your lives? Any questions? Any statements? Any challenges to anything that's been said today?